This video tutorial will assist you in completing your OpenCart product spreadsheet. Now, before we even start the spreadsheet, one thing that I would really recommend doing is grabbing a piece of paper, getting a pen or a pencil, and drawing out how you want your website to appear, and how the categories are going to be displayed on your new website. Great example, if I use the OpenCart demo website, which I'll be referring back to throughout the video, just get a piece of paper, turn it on its side so it's landscape, and then just draw out what you want your categories to be in this top section here. Obviously their names, what order they're going to appear in, and then what I would do next is draw the subcategories, so what categories are going to appear under the main categories, and then the products that are going to go into those categories as well. If you can do that at the very start, believe me, it's going to save you a lot of time and make the process a lot easier going forwards if you've got that visual aid. A few more things that I'd recommend having at the start as well, before you even begin the spreadsheet, and would be a list of all your products, their prices for each one, SKU codes if you use them. If you don't worry, any product descriptions, and also any images you might want to use as well. And once you have all this information, we are ready to go. Now, just briefly to explain why we need all that information at the start. Because it's a new e-commerce website, it's your online shop, we need to pull in a lot of data at the very start. Now, you could do it one by one via the admin interface, but believe me, it's going to take forever and a day to add all that information in bit by bit. So the spreadsheet is the best way to get that information into the website quickly. Now, when the website goes live and we do the website training with you to show you how to use the admin interface, what we do in there is we show you how to add products. So if you're adding 1 or 2 products a week or a month going forward, it's really, really easy to do. But when you're doing it in bulk at the start, a product spreadsheet is the best way to do it, especially when you're dealing with volume. So if you bring up your spreadsheet, I'll begin to talk you through. Now, you'll have your spreadsheet, which looks very similar to this. Worth mentioning here, there's a couple of tabs down the bottom. We're not going to be using all of those, because you don't need to use all of those at this stage. What this video wants to do really is just to cover the main sections so that you can get your product spreadsheet completed as quickly as possible and get that back to us so that we can obviously complete the website for you. So you've got categories, products, additional images, options, and I will cover each of those sections as we go along today, what they mean and what information you need to input into those sections as well. Now, you'll notice on a couple of the pages the sections in green, like this category ID here, they're essential. We have to have those. If we don't have those, then obviously the information isn't going to be pulled into OpenCart. The yellow sections, like image name, are nice to have. So they're not essential. They're not going to delay the process, but we would like to have them because the more information we've got at the start, the better it's going to display on the site. Now, parent ID is orange, slightly different to the others. It's a kind of it's you don't always have to have it. It's not essential, but I'll explain what that is because you might need to use it at some point. Now, I'll go through these columns one by one. So starting with category ID, each category on your website needs its own ID. So you need to give those numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just follow that really, and just go down as many categories as you want. So if you've got 50 categories, have it from 1 to 50. Now, I'll skip over parent ID for now because I will come back to that at the end. Then if we click into name, obviously self-explanatory, the names that you've got for each of your products, put those in there. Image name. Now, this is a really important one because this image name, whatever you call your images, whatever you've saved them as, that file name has to match exactly in there. So if you've done them in capital letters when you've saved them, but you add them into the product spreadsheet and the name is in lowercase, it won't be able to find them. So the images won't display on your website. So it's really, really important, I can't stress that enough, that the file names match exactly what is in the spreadsheet. And then finally, description. Doesn't have to be reams and reams of text in here. There's something short and sweet, a sentence or two that describes that category. And that'll be enough to get you started. Then once that information is pulled in, if I go back to the website, this will basically take the format of your top menu here and also your subcategories as well. Now, once you've completed these sections, I'll show you how they display on the website. And then you've got your category 1, category 2, category 3. Now if I go back to our spreadsheet and I'll come on to parent ID. Now let me show you on the demo site when a parent ID would be used. So desktops in this example has got PC and Mac underneath them. So when you're completing the spreadsheet for this particular site, PC and Mac would have had desktops as their parent category. So I'll show you in the spreadsheet itself. So if I bring that up, I'm going to create one on here just to show us. So I'll give the category its name, so it's going to be Macs. It's going to be a new category, so it's category 3. It's got its own unique ID, which again is very important, as I'll stress again. Now I want this to appear under desktops, so I'm going to give it parent ID 1. And now what the spreadsheet is doing is that's associating Macs with desktop. So it knows that desktops is the parent, the main category if you like, and Macs is going to sit underneath that. And that's how you do that through your spreadsheet and create subcategories as well. So on the site, desktops here, and then that's how you create your subcategories if you're going to have them, if you've got that many categories to create. Now if I go back to the spreadsheet again, that's your categories really, nice and simple, nice and clear. But as I say, that visual, that drawing you've done, or that sort of website map you've done at the start will come in really handy for this. Now the next tab that I'm going to come on to is your products, adding your products into here. As you will see from your OpenCart spreadsheet, you've got a few examples in there to get you started and follow. As I say, the green ones are the essentials, we need those, the others are nice to haves. So I'm going to focus on the essentials at this stage because they're the key ones, and then the other ones, as I say, you can complete those at a later date through the admin interface, or you can complete them on here once you've got your confidence up and you feel that you're doing it you're stepping in the right direction. So your product's ID, this has to follow on. I mean, it's back to the same as categories really. Each product needs its own unique ID. So categories are normally sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just to keep it nice and simple. Then products ID, start that from 100, 200. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter too much which numbers you use, as long as they're unique for each product or category, and it's just easy just if they follow numerical order really, just so you can keep up to where you are with everything. So you'll see on this example here, you've then got your product name, self-explanatory, categories. Now this is where that front page of categories and this page tie together. Because what you want to do is you want to link your products to the category you want them to appear in. So if I refer back to what we've got in here, so home desktop has got category 1. Category 1 refers to column A, the category ID, on our category sheet. Now what you can also do is you can add in multiple categories. So if a particular product appears under more than one category, for example if I wanted home desktops to appear under desktops, laptops, notebooks and Macs, click back into here and just put 1 followed by a comma, 2 followed by a comma, 3, and if I was to import that now into OpenCart, home desktop would appear under those 3 categories. So I'll just delete those out so it's back to as it was before. So hopefully this is now making sense of how these products and categories sort of tie together. So what will happen is once you've got this products complete in the categories and we import it, this is how it will start to tie together on the front end. You've got your main categories at the top, we've got our subcategories below, then if I click into Mac just to quickly show you, you've got your products under Mac as well. Now model is highlighted as green in here as essential, but to be honest with you, it's not, so you can just make that one yellow if you want to. I'll just change the colour on it so it doesn't distract us. Again, not an essential one really, it's just those 3 columns and fields. You'll see that category D has got SKU number in there. Obviously a lot of these columns start to become self-explanatory, like the price and the image name. You'll remember obviously how important getting that image name is right at the very start. You don't have to complete all of these, but if you have some of that information, for example, obviously you're going to know your prices, you're definitely going to know your SKU numbers if you use them, and maybe the images as well. So complete those fields, and if you scroll along, there's more on here as well, so like the weight of the product, the length. If you know that information and you're comfortable adding it in, just add it in there. And any of the columns you're not comfortable with, or you're not too sure what those mean, leave those, and we can sort of complete those later on anyway for you. So it's just really just, as I say, getting the bulk of that information across so that we can then sort of get that information into the site, get those categories and products on there as quickly as we can for you. Now, the next tab that I'll look at is additional images. So you'll notice if I go back to products, you'll notice that there's only room for one image name. So if you've got a lot of images for your products, don't try and put them all in there because it'll just confuse the system and it won't work. So how you add in more images is additional images. So what I would say is, just to sort of click back, sorry, if you click into the products again, I would have in this column your main category image. That's what I'd use that column for. Then additional images would be some subsidiary images to complement that. So what you would do is you give it the product's ID. So if I click back again, you've got your product's ID taken from column A. Click into there. Product's ID should be associated with that. I'm just going to change the name again. I'm just going to get a image name here, just as a argument. Obviously these would be unique, they wouldn't be the same. I'm just taking a shortcut with how I'm doing this. So give the image a name. Again, making sure that that file name matches up. I can't stress that enough. I know I've mentioned it a few times already, but it's so important. I'll just give them a unique name here just for some consistency. Just add a number in. So you'll see. So what I'm telling OpenCart here via the spreadsheet is that I have two new images. They are associated to Products ID 101, which is Home Desktop. I've got the image names in there, and then sort order. Now sort order is something you will become very, very familiar with in OpenCart because it's used quite a lot, and it's just the order of priority. So what is your main image, or what do you want the image to appear as number 1? If you want the image to appear as number 2, just put number 2. Okay, now the fourth and final tab we're going to look at today is options. Now you won't have your spreadsheet highlighted in green like I've done it. I've just done this just so it stands out a bit more on the video for us. But all the columns are same, and these are really, as I say, the important ones that you need to complete, and the others you don't have to complete at this stage. So don't worry about populating every single field in there. You know, I can't stress that enough really at this stage. So if you're adding an option, that could be you've got a colour of a product. So for example, you might have to use the sort of the demo website that we've got, you might have a PC or a laptop and it comes in 4 different colours. So what you can then do is you can have your product's ID. Again, for that we go back to our products tab and we take the product's ID from this column here. So it's 101, so it's Home Desktop. So we're going to have a desktop in 4 different lovely colours. So we've got the product's ID is 101, so I've used that 4 times because I've got 4 options. Then I've given the option a name, so it's colour. I've then given it a type, so I've picked select, so that's a select drop down menu, which is what most people use on OpenCart because it looks really nice and really simple to use. And then I've given it a value, so because it's colours it's really straightforward, it's red, blue, green, yellow. Now you could have different materials that you use to create products. You could have different sizes. You could have different weights, and that is where you would put that information in here. And as I say, once you've created these, you can add them to as many products as you want. Again, when we do the training with you when the website goes live, we'll show you how to create more options via the admin interface. This is really just to get it off the ground, and to be honest, this tab isn't essential at this stage. The most important two are categories and products. If you can get those completed, they're the main ones, and then obviously we can work on the rest as we go forward. And that covers the key areas that you need to complete on the product spreadsheet to enable us to pull that data in to get all your categories and products onto your new OpenCart website. The next stage for you is to save the document somewhere safe. Email that in to us at websites@addpeople.co.uk. We will then import the product spreadsheet into your site and we'll notify you. If there are any issues or any errors, we'll come back to you and we'll talk through those with you as well. Thank you for watching and good luck with your new OpenCart website.